neighborhoods at the appointed times. Whether they decide to build and maintain their own community bank just for the residents in that said community, or plant vineyards for all the community to share, thereby spreading wealth and love. Compared to what we have right now, everybody going to their own homes and taking every penny with them. Each community should have an institution likened unto the knowledge and sometimes informal atmosphere that is likened unto that of the Java complex. Our communities, especially Black communities, have a need to share the history of today and yesterday. Being that great numbers of Black people were miseducated, according to some, and now that truth is coming to light, we need outlets to support and sustain that knowledge and make sure that it is accessible. We need to adopt institutions likened to those proposed by Sa'ank Samayat as a homeschooling co-op, whereby we teach our own children and participate in their education at a more than affordable cost. Also building wholesome relationships amongst different families. Compared to what we have now, some other ethnic group giving our children a curriculum and families going to their separate homes and never building community. 3, we must begin to promote one another in our various organizations and venues. You tell about me, and I tell about you. You support me, and I support you. There must be reciprocity and love shown for one another. Race first. Let me begin to talk more about you than I do about myself. Let's prove that we care about our actions and words. Compared to what we have now, I'll only talk about me and my organization and what we are doing and forget about everybody else. For we must stop enabling our people and assisting them in doing that which is detrimental to their well-being, especially those things that aid them in becoming out of their character or cause their health to become compromised. In other words, especially if you don't smoke, don't sell them, or look at pornography, let's not be the avenue to assist our brothers and sisters in acquiring it, whether it be alcohol, drugs, or pork. Let's begin to live the life and help others to do so. Compared to what we have now, as long as I make $1, I don't care what and how it affects others. All about the money and nothing about the persons. 5, we must begin to govern ourselves and take care of our own communities. When we find our children or neighbors out of order, we need to put them in check. If we know Harry is taking things from his family's home and selling it to us, this should not be. Or anything that he brings our way, we should always turn him down and not help him to continue this line of activity. We have to hold one another in higher standards compared to what we have now. If he or she brings it to me and I want it or think I need it, I am going to get it, thereby continuing to spread wreckful behavior. 6, organizations must come together and organize with one another. For example, the presidents or vice presidents of the various organizations need to meet together at least once every quarter or send representatives to discuss matters that we may all partake of. For example, the president of CORE, Memphis Kwanzaa International, Mid-South Kwanzaa, Toastmasters, Rhinos Nation, Community Speaks, African Unification, Youth Speaks, the Umoja Foundation, the Empower Memphis, the Assassi Academy, and other various organizations need to come to the table and share with one another. Build a calendar of events to include all. Have representatives to send information to other organizations as reminders of upcoming activities. They have to designate certain ones so that information can go via text, email, Facebook, phone calls, or whatever method is most beneficial to the persons receiving. Surely we know that we can't or won't make everything, but at least we will know and can tell somebody else. Compared to what we have now, reaching a small segment of people due to advertising costs and what media outlets will allow us to use them, we continue to have a few here and a few there. 7, finally, as organizations continue to organize, they will find themselves likened unto the corporations of today, for the most part, running the world. Because we are in survival mode and under attack from so many levels, it is incumbent and more necessary than ever for us to come together and join forces. With injustices and laws seeming to become more and more ridiculous, we must come together and have a voice For example, the juvenile court system, taking men and women's driver's license, and so forth. What does that have to do with your inability to pay? Well, now, surely if you take the means whereby I travel, how does that make me more able to comply with payments that I probably already cannot afford? Organizations, again, we must also come together and do what we do. Organize. We must build the institutions and communities that will be owned by us and controlled by us.